Good morning, students. So let us continue our discussion. We were discussing about the structure of plastids. Now, as I told you, there are three types of plastids. They are chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. Chloroplast are green color plastids which give green color to the leaves. Actually, the chloroplast they contain chlorophyll pigment because of which the color of the leaf is green. They are actively involved in the process of photosynthesis. Second type of plastids are chromoplast, which are colored plastids which are responsible for different colors in the plants. Like you must have seen the flowers are of different color, red color, yellow, orange, pink. Same way you must have seen the fruits also colored, like mango, green, yellow color. When it is raw it is green color, and when it is ripened it is yellow color. Some you all must have seen some type of chilies which are like shimla mirch. When we say, they are red color also, yellow color also. So all those colors are because of the chromoplast, so they are called as colored plastids. And third type of plastids are leucoplast, which are colorless, but they are entirely responsible for the storage of food. For example, when we talk about the potato, sweet potato, so they have colorless plastids which store the food material. So now let us see the diagram of the chloroplast. That day we had discussed it in short. Let us see one more time. Now see, this is the plastid chloroplast. Now let us talk about this structure. What I wanted to show you that day. Now this is the structure of a chloroplast. You can see that the chloroplast is a double membrane structure having two membranes, and inside also you can see the structure. You can see the structure is looking like stack of coins. स्टैक ऑफ कॉइन मीन्स, जैसे सपोज अगर तुम 10 रुपीज का कॉइन कंसिडर करो तो तुमने वो कॉइन्स को एक के ऊपर एक के ऊपर एक रखा हुआ है, तो दे आर समवॉट लुकिंग लाइक दैट ओनली. तो दिस स्टैक, entire stack, we call it as the granum. One such stack we call it as granum, and all the stack together we call them as grana. Okay, now one part in that stack, suppose if you have taken the 10 rupees coin, एक के ऊपर एक रखा हुआ है तुमने 10 कॉइन को, बराबर, और उसमें से तुम एक कॉइन को कंसिडर करते हो, एक ही कॉइन तुमने लिया, तो दैट स्ट्रक्चर वी कॉल इट एज द thylakoid. And this granum, it contains the chlorophyll pigment which is responsible for the process of photosynthesis. Now this granum, they are connected with each other through lamella. They are lying in the liquid what is called as the stroma. Actually, when we talk about the photosynthesis reaction is divided into two parts: light reaction and dark reaction. Light reaction requires light, and dark reaction doesn't require light. So light reaction, it occurs in the granum, and dark reaction occurs in the stroma. Now you can see that the DNA has, chloroplast has its own DNA ribosome. It means that chloroplast is a semi-autonomous organ which can make its own copy. Let us see this. So there are three types of plastids: chloroplast, chromoplast, leucoplast. Chloroplast green color, chromoplast colored plastids, and leucoplast are the colorless plastids. And they are called as the semi-autonomous organ because they can synthesize their own copies. Okay. So now let us, students, now let us talk about the next organelle, which is called as the vacuole. Now vacuole are the liquid fluid filled bags or sacs in the plants. They are mostly found in the plant cell, which are responsible for nearly 50 to 70%, sometimes even 90% space is also occupied the vacuole. Actually, this vacuole, they provide turgidity and rigidity to the plant cell. So they are very important. Sometimes they are big in size. So all the other organelles in the cell are pressed aside. वो बहुत बड़ी जगह ऑक्यूपाई कर लेते हैं, और बाकी के जो सब ऑर्गेनल्स होते हैं ना, वो सब साइड में चले जाते हैं. But actually they are important for the rigidity and turgidity of the cell. Okay, now let us share one diagram of the vacuole. Now you can see this is the diagram of a plant vacuole. Actually, vacuoles are found mostly in plants. In animals also they are found, but they are of smaller size. Okay, because they are not very important in animals. Some animals like amoeba. In amoeba, the vacuole is there, which is called as a food vacuole, which contains the food material. Okay, so that way the vacuole is important. They are smaller in size in animal cell, but in plant cell they play a very important role. As I told you that they provide turgidity and rigidity to the plant cell. Okay, now let us talk about the other some animals in which it is used for the to expel the waste material out of the cell, to remove the waste material out of the cell. So there also the vacuoles are used. Okay, but now let us talk about this plant vacuole. You can see that it has occupied so much space. The membrane, you can see that the vacuole is surrounded by a single membrane, which is called as the tonoplast, and inside the vacuole there is a liquid, what we call it as the cell sap. Now this cell sap, it contains proteins, some type of proteins, amino acids, glucose, some organic materials. Is it clear? So what is the difference in the vacuole of the plant cell and animal cell? Plant cell, they have the vacuoles which are of larger size, and animal cells, mostly they have the animals vacuoles which are of the smaller size. Okay, so I hope you all must have understood this topic. Good morning, children. As we were discussing, we have discussed all the cell organelles, and you have seen that how important they are, how important they are for the cell. Now let us begin with each and every organelle. First, let us talk about the nucleus. Nucleus controls all the activities of the cell. It is a controlling organelle. At the same time, it is responsible for the cellular reproduction. Second is endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum, in which the rough endoplasmic reticulum having ribosomes on its surface, it is responsible for the protein synthesis, and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, which is without ribosome, it is responsible for the synthesis of the fats and lipids. From the proteins which are synthesized by the rough endoplasmic reticulum, many of the enzymes and hormones are synthesized. Now, in liver of some animals, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it is involved in detoxifying the poisonous substances. Next comes the mitochondrion, which is involved in the process of generation of energy. We call mitochondria as the powerhouse of the cell because the energy is generated by cellular respiration, where the glucose is oxidized with the help of oxygen. Next comes the lysosomes, which is called as the suicidal bag of the cell. Why? Because whenever there is a disturbance in the cellular metabolism, the lysosome, as it contains the digestive enzyme, it bursts open and all the content comes out, and the digestive enzyme, they digest the entire cell. At the same time, lysosome protect us from the attack of the bacteria as they contain the digestive enzymes. Golgi apparatus, which is whatever protein and lipids are synthesized by the endoplasmic reticulum, they are modified and they are dispatched to the cell wherever they are required. Then comes the plastids. Plastids, as I told you that there are three types: chloroplast, which are actively involved in photosynthesis; chromoplast, they are the colored plastids which give color to flower and fruit; and leucoplast, which are colorless, which store the food material, as for example in case of potato, the food is stored in leucoplast. So you can see that all the physiological functions which are required for the survival of an organism are carried out inside the cell. So we call cell as the functional unit of the living organism. Okay. Now let us move to the next topic, which is the division of the cell. In the beginning of the lesson, I told you the theory which was given by Schlinden and Schwann. They proposed that every cell is made up of cell, every organism is made up of cell. Cell is the structural and functional unit of an organism, and the new cell is formed from the old cell by cell division. So now let us talk about the very important topic, cell division. Cell division means how the cell divides and it forms two cells. Now why the cell division is required? Actually the cell division is required for the growth of the body. You know that even we are single cell when originated in the form of a zygote. Zygote is a single cell and it divides and redivides and forms the multicellular organism how we are. So that is possible because of the cell division. So cell division is required for the growth of the body. Now whenever you are injured, you get injury anywhere in the body, you will see that after few days that cells will be repaired. New cells will be formed on place of those cells. So second function of the cell division is to repair and form the new cell, to replace the worn out cells and form new cells in place of those cells. And the third and the most important function is the reproduction, where the gamete cells are formed and after reproduction, a new cell is formed from which a new organism is made. So there are two types of cell division. One is mitosis and second is meiosis. Now what is mitosis? Actually mitosis occurs in the somatic cells. Somatic cells means cells other than the reproductive cells, like the cells of our hands, legs, face. These all are the somatic cells. So those cells, in those cells the mitotic division occurs. Now when the mitotic division occurs, single cell divides into two cells. The number of the chromosome remains the same. There is no change in the number of chromosomes and the cell will divide and it will form two cells. Let us see this with the help of a video, what I am going to share with you.
In this module, you will learn about mitosis. Mitosis is a process of cell division that makes possible regeneration of body parts. To elaborate, mitosis is the separation of nuclear chromosomes into two identical daughter nuclei. It is divided into four key phases: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase.
Now children, you need not worry about the different phases of the cell division. Actually, it is only for your knowledge. Actually, you are getting an opportunity to see the division of the cell. So, only see the division. No need to worry about the steps of the cell division. That is not in your course.
An additional phase called cytokinesis occurs after the complete nuclear division. Before a dividing cell enters mitosis, it undergoes a period of growth and rest. This
you can see the entangled mass, what we call it as the chromatin. Now when the cell prepares itself for the division, this mass will condense and it will form chromosomes.
Period is called interphase. In interphase, the genetic material of a cell increases. Prophase. During prophase, the chromatin condenses and becomes short and thick to form chromosomes. Each chromosome has two sister chromatids joined together at the centromere. The nucleolus disappears and the nuclear membrane starts to break down.
You can see that there are 6 chromosomes in the cell, okay, in the nucleus. Now see, after the division also there will be 6 chromosomes. Now see how this magic occurs.
The centrosomes, each with a pair of centrioles, move apart to the opposite poles, forming a spindle between them. Metaphase. During metaphase, microtubules of the spindle interact with chromosomes. This causes the chromosomes to move and align along the middle of the cell or the equatorial plate. Sister chromatids are held at the centromere, confirming the presence of protein structures called kinetochore at the surface. The kinetochore holds the chromosomes and attaches them to the spindle. Anaphase. During anaphase, the sister chromatids separate at the kinetochores, and the daughter chromosomes, along with the divided centromere, move towards the opposite poles.
You can see how the chromosomes are separated. Six chromosomes have gone at each pole, opposite pole. Now they will form their own copy. Okay, and the number of the chromosome will remain the same in both the cells.
As the microtubule shortens, the poles of the spindle also move apart and help to separate the chromosomes. As the chromosomes separate completely into two sets, one at each pole, anaphase is considered complete. Telophase. During telophase, the daughter chromosomes arrive at the pole and the chromatin starts to decoil. Also, the nuclei reform along with nucleoli.
You can see it has again reached the original stage from where it has started.
This triggers the reformation of the nuclear membrane. Cytokinesis. Cytokinesis is the partition of the cytoplasm. In animals, a cleavage furrow appears in the plasma membrane, which deepens and divides the cytoplasm into two daughter cells, each containing a nucleus. In plants, new cell wall formation is triggered at the center of the cell by the formation of a cell plate. The cell plate grows outwards till it meets the existing wall, resulting in two daughter cells.
Now you can see how from one cell, two cells have been formed. So such type of division is called as a mitotic division. Okay, now let us talk about the another type of division, what we call it as the meiosis. Meiosis means reduction division. Now why we are calling it as the reduction division? Because whenever the reproduction occurs, you know that in reproduction the two cells, they unite and form a single cell. One is coming from male and one is coming from female, and zygote, when the zygote is formed, it is a single cell. So if the number of chromosome remains the same, then what will happen? In the next generation, the number of chromosome will become double. Then again in the next generation, the number of chromosome will become double. So the number of chromosome will keep on increasing. And as I have told in the beginning, that the number of chromosome always remains the same in every organism. So keep the number of chromosome fixed. There is another type of the cell uses another strategy which is called as the meiosis. Now in meiosis, the number of chromosome becomes half the original number. And then when the two cells they combine and form zygote, the number of chromosome remains the same. So such type of division is called as the reduction division or meiosis. Now at the end of the meiosis, we get four cells, because meiotic division occurs in two steps. In first step, the number of chromosome becomes half. So from one cell, two cells will be formed having half number of chromosome. And then again from those two cells, other two cells will form. They will have the same number of chromosome. Means suppose if we are beginning with two chromosome, first two cells will be formed having one chromosome, and again two cells will be formed. They will also have one chromosome. Means first division will be a reduction division and second division will be a normal mitotic division. Let us see this with the help of a diagram. I will share one diagram. Okay. Now see, this is the diagram of a chart showing the meiotic division. You see, we are beginning with a cell having two chromosomes. Here we are having a cell having two chromosomes. Now these two chromosomes, they will form, as it has told that they will form sister chromatids, and these two chromosomes, you can see in the next step two cells are formed having one chromosome. So you can see that the number of chromosome has reduced to half. We had started with two chromosome, now we are ending with one chromosome. So here the first stage of the meiotic division, what we call it as the reduction division, completes. In the next step, again you will see there are four cells each having one chromosome. Means now the number of chromosome is not changed. So the meiotic division, starting, it is divided into two phases. In one phase, the number of chromosome becomes half. Second phase, the number of chromosome remains the same. Now suppose if this cell is a male cell having one chromosome, when it will combine with other cell which is also having one chromosome, when they will form zygote, the cell will have two chromosomes. What we have here. Is it clear to all of you? So this type of division, actually this single thread is shown, it will form its own copy. तो ये ऐसा ही हो जाएगा, बराबर. जैसे जेरोक्स करते हैं ना, वैसे ये भी अपनी एक कॉपी खुद बना लेता है. That process is called as transcription. That you all will study in higher classes. Is it clear? So this is a typical meiotic division. Now see this normal cell division, what is called as mitosis. Here we are beginning with two chromosomes and we are ending also with two chromosomes. So such type of division is called as mitosis, which is required for the growth of the body, for the repair of the damaged cell, and meiotic division, which is required for the formation of the gametes. Okay. So with this topic, we end our lesson. Good morning, students. So in the last session, I told you that I will conduct one test for you all. Our lesson, as you know, our lesson is complete. So I am giving you one test that you all will write the answers just now. In the next session, we will discuss the answers of those questions. So now let us see. I am sending you the test. I am sharing the test with you all. So this test you all will write very honestly. Okay? Sitting in front of the screen and you will write the answers. There are 20 blanks and those answers you will write, and we will discuss the answer in the next lecture. Okay? I hope you all can see the questions clearly. Okay, so best of luck.